Did you know Canada has a real desert, a glowing passport, and a cocktail made with a human toe? From polar bear towns that never lock their cars to a secret maple syrup vault worth millions, this video uncovers 21 untold stories that even most Canadians don't know exist. Hit subscribe, like, and comment your favorite fact, because this isn't your average Canada video. This one will leave you speechless. Let's start right now. 1. The desert of British Columbia. Yes, Canada, the land of snow, ice hockey, and maple syrup, actually has a desert. Hidden in the southern Okanagan Valley of British Columbia lies the Osoyoos Desert, a landscape that could fool you into thinking you've teleported to Arizona. With rolling golden dunes, sagebrush, and even cacti, this semi-arid region gets less than 10 inches of rain a year. Temperatures can soar past 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, baking the ground beneath Canada's clear blue skies. It's home to over 200 rare species found nowhere else in the country, including the western rattlesnake. Indigenous Okanagan people have lived here for centuries, calling it the Nunkamip Desert, meaning where the rock meets the water. Few visitors believe it until they see it, a true desert in the heart of one of the world's coldest nations. 2. The town that leaves car doors unlocked. In Churchill, Manitoba, often called the polar bear capital of the world, locals follow a strange but very practical custom. They never lock their car doors. It's not forgetfulness or trust in human kindness, it's survival. When polar bears wander into town, which happens often, open car doors provide instant shelter for anyone who suddenly finds a massive white bear lumbering toward them. Churchill sits right along the bears' migration route to Hudson Bay, where hundreds of them wait for the ice to freeze each fall. Residents even have a polar bear patrol to keep both people and bears safe. Tourists come from all over the world to witness this incredible coexistence between humans and nature. In Churchill, your best defense isn't a weapon, it's an unlocked car. 3. The sweet gold of Canada. Maple syrup isn't just a breakfast topping in Canada, it's a national symbol, a billion-dollar industry, and practically liquid gold. Around 85% of the world's maple syrup comes from this country, with the province of Quebec producing most of it. Each spring, when nights are cold and days turn warm, farmers tap sugar maple trees and collect the sap that drips out. It takes roughly 40 gallons of sap to make just 1 gallon of syrup, so every drop is precious. There's even a strategic maple syrup reserve worth millions of dollars to stabilize global supply and prevent price crashes. The syrup's rich amber color and caramel aroma are so distinctive that Canada even stamps the maple leaf, its source, right onto the national flag. Sweet, sticky, and proudly Canadian, it's the taste of the forest bottled. 4. The Trans-Canada Highway, the road that never ends. Stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific, the Trans-Canada Highway is one of the longest national highways on Earth, a ribbon of asphalt crossing mountains, forests, and prairies for nearly 5,000 miles. It links 10 provinces, weaving from St. John's in Newfoundland all the way to Victoria in British Columbia. Driving the entire route could take more than a week, even without stopping to admire the breathtaking scenery. Built in the 1950s, it symbolized the unity of a vast country where communities are often separated by hundreds of miles of wilderness. Along the way, travelers pass moose crossings, icy lakes, and roadside diners where friendly locals still serve homemade pie. Whether you're chasing sunsets on the west coast or snowstorms on the east, This road truly defines the spirit of Canadian adventure, endless, rugged, and astonishingly beautiful. 5. Newfoundland's half-hour time zone. Canada is such a colossal country that it spans 6 different time zones, and one of them is unlike any other on Earth. The island of Newfoundland runs on a time zone that's half an hour ahead of Atlantic time and 3.5 hours ahead of Eastern time. Yes, you read that right, not 1 hour, but 30 minutes. This quirky system dates back to the early 20th century, when local railway and telegraph schedules needed a compromise between Canada's eastern provinces and the island's isolated communities. Even after Newfoundland joined Canada in 1949, locals proudly kept their unique time zone as a symbol of independence. To this day, when the rest of the country turns their clocks by the hour, Newfoundlanders smirk and move theirs just halfway, because why be ordinary when you can be 30 minutes ahead? 6. Canada's UFO landing pad. In the quiet town of St. Paul, Alberta, something truly out of this world was built, the world's very first official UFO landing pad. Constructed in 1967 to celebrate Canada's centennial, the circular concrete platform was a symbol of peace and openness, welcoming not just humans from around the globe, but humorously, any extraterrestrial visitors who might drop by. The town took the idea seriously enough to include a small museum dedicated to reported UFO sightings across Canada. Over the years, thousands of tourists have come to see the pad, pose for photos, and explore its otherworldly charm. The sign beside it even reads, "All visitors from Earth and beyond are welcome." Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, St. Paul proves that Canadians don't just have a sense of humor, they have a universal one. 7. The giant beaver dam, visible from space. Deep within the wild wetlands of northern Alberta lies something both bizarre and brilliant. The world's largest beaver dam, so enormous it can be spotted from space. Measuring nearly half a mile long, this colossal construction was first discovered in satellite images by scientists studying the region's ecology. No human built it. Generations of beavers, tirelessly working with mud and branches, created this natural wonder over decades. Located inside Wood Buffalo National Park, it blocks a remote stream surrounded by dense forest and marshland. Few people have ever reached it on foot. It's that isolated. Beavers, Canada's beloved national animal, are legendary engineers, and this dam is their masterpiece. It's a living reminder that even in the age of skyscrapers and satellites, nature still holds the record for some of the most astonishing feats of construction. 8. The Bay of Fundy and its mighty tides. Between the provinces of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick lies the Bay of Fundy, a place where the ocean itself seems alive. This bay experiences the highest tides on Earth, with water levels rising and falling by more than 50 feet every single day. Twice a day, the sea rushes in with the force of 1,000 rivers, filling the bay so dramatically that boats resting on the muddy floor at low tide float again within hours. Scientists say the bay's unique funnel shape amplifies the tidal energy, creating this stunning natural rhythm. It's also home to rare whales, towering cliffs, and incredible rock formations like the famous Hopewell Rocks, which you can walk beneath at low tide and kayak around at high. The Bay of Fundy is proof that Canada's coastline isn't just long, it's alive, breathing in sync with the moon. 9. The Canadian who invented basketball. Believe it or not, basketball, one of the most popular sports in the world, was invented by a Canadian. Sir James Naismith, born in Almonte, Ontario, created the game in 1891 while teaching physical education in Massachusetts. Tasked with finding an indoor activity for his restless students during winter, he hung 2 peach baskets on opposite ends of a gym and wrote down 13 simple rules. The sport quickly exploded in popularity, spreading across North America and eventually the world. Today, the NBA honors Naismith as the father of basketball, and his humble Canadian hometown proudly celebrates his legacy. Few people realize that every slam dunk, buzzer beater, and championship ring owes its existence to a snowy Canadian imagination. It's a legacy that proves, even in winter, Canada knows how to keep the game hot. 10. The glowing passport of Canada. Canada's passport isn't just a travel document, it's a secret work of art. Under normal light, its pages show elegant line drawings of national symbols and landmarks. But when you shine ultraviolet light over it, something magical happens. The passport bursts into color with glowing images of fireworks, northern lights, and iconic monuments like Parliament Hill. This hidden design was introduced in 2013 as a security feature, but it quickly became a point of pride among Canadians. Travelers often pull out UV flashlights at airports just to show the secret artwork to friends. It's a small reminder that Canadian creativity shines even in bureaucracy, literally. In a world of plain documents, the Canadian passport turns something ordinary into an extraordinary, glowing celebration of national identity. 11. Montreal, the French heartbeat of North America. Montreal, located in the province of Quebec, is the second largest French-speaking city in the world, right after Paris. Walking its cobblestone streets feels like stepping into Europe, yet it beats with a North American rhythm. The city's dual personality is part of its charm. French cafes line the same streets as futuristic skyscrapers, and locals easily switch between English and French in mid-sentence. Its old port, Gothic cathedrals, and lively festivals like Just for Laughs or Jazz Fest make it a cultural powerhouse. Montreal's culinary scene is equally rich. Poutine, smoked meat sandwiches, and bagels softer and sweeter than New York's. Despite the freezing winters, the city never loses its warmth. It's creative, eccentric, and proudly bilingual, the place where art, food, and passion dance together in perfect harmony. 12. The cocktail with a human toe. Only in Canada could you find a drink garnished with a mummified human toe. In Dawson City, Yukon, the legendary Sawtooth cocktail has become a bizarre rite of passage for adventurous travelers. The recipe is simple: a shot of whiskey, usually Yukon Jack, and a preserved human toe dropped right into the glass. The rule? You can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch the toe. The tradition began in the 1970s after a frostbitten toe was found preserved in a jar of alcohol. Today, thousands of brave souls have joined the Sawtooth Club, earning certificates for their courage or madness. The bar even keeps spare toes, donated by people who've lost them to accidents or frostbite. It's creepy, it's hilarious, and it's 100% Canadian frontier humor. 13. Alberta's rat-free zone. Believe it or not, Alberta is the only rat-free province in North America, and that's no coincidence. Since the 1950s, the provincial government has maintained one of the strictest pest control programs on Earth. When Norway rats began moving west across Canada, Alberta drew the line, literally along its eastern border. Armed teams patrolled the frontier, setting traps, sealing grain bins, and even offering rewards for sightings. The result? No breeding rat population has ever taken hold in the province. Farmers proudly post rat-free signs, and schools even teach children about rat prevention. It's become part of Alberta's identity, a mix of determination, discipline, and maybe a touch of stubborn pride. While other places battle infestations, Albertans sleep peacefully, knowing the only rats they'll ever see are in pet stores or history books. 14. The Rideau Canal, the world's longest skating rink. Each winter, Ottawa's Rideau Canal transforms from a calm waterway into a glittering, frozen highway for skaters. Stretching nearly 5 miles through Canada's capital, it becomes the world's largest naturally frozen skating rink, wide enough to hold thousands of people at once. Locals use it to commute, students skate to class, and vendors sell steaming hot chocolate and maple taffy from small wooden shacks. Built in the early 1800s as a military route, the canal is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most beloved winter attractions in the country. During the annual Winterlude Festival, the air fills with laughter, music, and the scraping sound of blades on ice. Few experiences capture the Canadian spirit better, joyful, resilient, and willing to embrace the cold with a smile. 15. The longest coastline on Earth. If you traced every inch of Canada's coastline, you would travel more than 125,000 miles, longer than the equator. Washed by 3 oceans, the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic, Canada's shorelines are wildly diverse, from the iceberg-dotted bays of Newfoundland to British Columbia's rainforest-covered fjords. There are tiny fishing villages, remote Arctic inlets, and beaches where you can watch whales breach just offshore. In summer, kayakers paddle through turquoise coves. In winter, sea ice glows beneath the northern lights. The sheer size of it all is staggering. Canada's coastline makes up about 15% of all the world's coasts combined. Yet most of it remains untouched, silent, and pristine, a reminder that in this vast northern land, nature still holds the upper hand. 16. The world's smallest jail. In the small town of Rodney, Ontario, stands one of Canada's most peculiar landmarks, a jail so tiny it looks more like a garden shed than a place of punishment. Built in the late 1800s, this miniature prison measures only 24 square feet, barely enough room for 2 misbehaving locals to stand side by side. It was used for minor offenders, like drunks or troublemakers, who spent a night or two cooling off before facing the magistrate. Today, it's preserved as a tourist attraction, complete with iron bars and a creaky wooden door that still locks shut. Visitors love to squeeze inside for photos, laughing at how small-town justice once looked. While most countries boast about having the biggest or the tallest, Canada proudly celebrates the world's tiniest, a symbol of humility, humor, and history rolled into one cramped cell. 17. The underwater post office of British Columbia. Canada takes mail delivery to a whole new depth, literally. Off the coast of Vancouver Island, in the waters near Sydney, lies one of the world's few underwater post offices. Established as part of a marine park attraction, divers can swim down and actually mail waterproof postcards, sealed in special plastic envelopes. These cards are collected daily by trained divers and sent through the regular postal system, complete with a unique underwater postmark. It's a playful blend of tourism, creativity, and Canadian quirkiness. The site also helps raise awareness about ocean conservation, inviting visitors to appreciate the beauty of marine life up close. Few countries can claim their post office requires scuba gear, but Canada, with its boundless imagination, manages to make even mailing a letter an adventure beneath the sea. 18. Manitoulin Island, the world's largest freshwater island. In Ontario's Lake Huron lies a natural marvel that few travelers realize exists. Manitoulin Island, the largest freshwater island in the world. It's so vast that it contains over 100 lakes of its own, some of which even have islands inside them. Imagine that, an island in a lake on an island in a larger lake. Home to around 13,000 residents, Manitoulin is rich in indigenous culture, particularly from the Anishinaabe people, whose traditions and sacred sites are deeply rooted in the landscape. The island's name means Spirit Island, and visitors often describe its peaceful atmosphere as almost magical. With sandy beaches, wild forests, and star-filled skies free of city lights, it feels like a world apart, untouched, tranquil, and deeply Canadian. It's nature's nesting doll, and it's breathtaking. 19. The giant nickel of Sudbury. In the mining city of Sudbury, Ontario, there stands a monument so shiny and unexpected that it stops visitors in their tracks. A colossal replica of a Canadian 5-cent coin known as the Big Nickel. Standing 30 feet tall and weighing over 13,000 kilograms, this stainless steel sculpture was built in 1964 to honor Sudbury's vital nickel industry. The coin design mirrors the 1951 version that celebrated Canada's scientific achievements. It sits atop a rocky hill overlooking the city, right next to the dynamic Earth Science Museum, where visitors can descend into a real mine tunnel to experience a miner's life. What began as one man's local art project has become one of Ontario's most photographed landmarks. The Big Nickel is a proud symbol of the region's hard work, ingenuity, and gleaming contribution to the world's metal supply. 20. Canada's West Coast rainforests. Few people realize that Canada, famous for snow and ice, is also home to lush rainforests that rival the Amazon in beauty and biodiversity. On British Columbia's Pacific coast lies the Great Bear Rainforest, a mystical land of towering cedar trees, moss-covered valleys, and mist drifting through ancient canopies. Stretching for over 6 million hectares, it's one of the last intact temperate rainforests on Earth. Here, grizzly bears fish for salmon beside black bears and the elusive white spirit bear, a rare subspecies sacred to Indigenous people. The forest's rivers shimmer with life, its air feels ancient, and its silence hums with nature's presence. Protected by both local communities and environmental groups, it stands as proof that wilderness still thrives where humans show restraint. It's Canada at its greenest, wild, wet, and absolutely breathtaking. 21. The Canadian discovery that saved millions, insulin. One of the world's greatest medical breakthroughs came not from a giant lab, but from a small university in Toronto. In 1921, Canadian scientist Dr. Frederick Banting, along with his assistant Charles Best, discovered insulin, the hormone that regulates blood sugar. Before their work, a diabetes diagnosis was essentially a death sentence. Their discovery changed everything, giving patients around the world a second chance at life. Banting famously sold the patent for just $1 Canadian, saying, "Insulin does not belong to me, it belongs to the world." Today, millions of people owe their lives to that act of brilliance and generosity. The discovery also earned Banting a Nobel Prize and secured Canada's place in medical history. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful gift a country can offer the world isn't gold, but compassion and science combined. And that wraps up 21 incredible little-known facts about Canada, a nation that's far more than snow and maple syrup. From deserts to glowing passports, this country hides wonders even locals don't always know. If one of these facts surprised you, hit like, subscribe, and share your favorite in the comments below. Your support helps Andy Explores the World uncover more untold stories from around the globe. Thanks for watching. And remember, the world is full of secrets waiting to be explored.